and Andrew Stovall chose media influence on the political process as our group topic. Media influence on the political process is how any type of media or news could affect how the outcome of political events or how people view them. For my subtopic, I chose cable news's effect on political events. Generally, large cable news networks such as CNN or Fox have a viewer base who share the same biases and opinions as they do. And because of that, they don't have many viewers whose minds may be changed by what they have to say. Because of this, you have very little effect on how outcomes of elections could change due to the fact that many people who watch their network would have the same vote no matter if they watch them or not. News media can, however, have more of an effect on local politics due to depending on different variables such as location or recent events.
Hello, my name is Elijah Speller, and my subtopic was social media's influence on political process. Social media's influence on politics has been growing in recent years because of more people using it each year, and because of this growing use, information can go around very quickly at a click of a button. It allows everyone with a phone and a computer or iPad to go on the internet and get their news or do their favorite activity on their apps or whatever they want to do. Because of this accessibility, news organizations have been able to get news out of people or get news to people all over the world. This has a negative and a positive effect. How does it affect politics? Well, social media has good effects for politics and bad effects because it's much easier for news organizations to make and publish articles on the internet. It's going to allow them to make more news articles and stories, but this will deteriorate the quality because of how many there are, and it's really easy to make bad quality that they don't have all the full story, so they will. Wait, what? Wait, did I do something wrong?
No.
Okay.
This thing went up. It's not showing up.
I thought I messed up something wrong.
This thing stopped appearing.
Okay, go back to the thing. I'm so wrong. What? Okay.
Just go back, beginning of the slide.
All right.
Okay.
Just go back to the one you moved in here.
I know, so. Oh, it's turning back on.
Crap, we're the first one to have the mess up. Okay, we broke 2 records.
I mean, what if we just where you left off, okay? We're
All right.
seeing-
All right. Like I was saying, since it's easier to publish these articles, they can deteriorate the quality, so they can jump to like they will try to see a story that's interesting, and they will get to it before it's actual information. So they'll make it there will be more drama in their articles, and they will create this to have a bigger effect on something like, for example, the 2016 election. A lot of news organizations they contributed to like how the polls were and how people felt about the election. They also would make up rumors and fake conspiracies to change people's opinions on something or someone that's popular or something that's going on at the moment. They can try to spark up this drama, and so they can get more subscribers for their news, and so they can make more money. On sites like Facebook, there will be maybe news accounts like maybe smaller ones, like maybe up to 1,000, maybe posting articles that are maybe entirely fake or just a little bit, not the full story. News channels will always try to be first when they're at that topic, and once they're one-sided on it, they will not include all the facts. But it is beneficial because social media can be used as it can be used for candidates and politicians to befriend their voters. They can use it to get direct talk with the voters and show what kind of person they can be to those people. How to make sure news articles are factual. If you see a news article that might not seem like it's showing the full truth about politics, you can make sure that it's true by fact checking, which is investigating the facts the article talks about, and make sure if it's true or not. So they can check other news outlets and see what they say about the topic. They can check the author who made the article, then look at their sources and determine if the facts line up or if it's not telling the full truth. Social media will continue to grow and have a larger impact on politics in the future, but it could be for the good and the bad.
Hi, my name is William Malkowski, and my subtopic was written articles effect on the political process. Newspapers have been around since 1665, and the first presidential election was in 1789. This means that newspapers have been around like way longer than United States presidential elections. And so this has, and as example, if so many respected leaders that lived during the first presidential election for the United States hadn't spoken so highly about George Washington, he might not have become president, and someone else like John Adams could have possibly been president. Before the internet, newspapers were the main thing people were reading. The downfall to this was that there were no fact-checking websites, so you had to use your own judgment to try to figure out what was facts and what was fake. In 1990, the internet had become a thing. This allowed newspaper companies to expand their territory to the internet, but at least with the internet, they had fact-checking websites, so if people wanted to make sure that they could get real news, they could go to a fact-checking website.
Hi, my name is Andrew Stova, and my subtopic was ad influence on the political process. where do you see this bias? You see this bias on television commercials, billboards, like if you're driving around the highway and you see a billboard out, and so places like YouTube where you like watching a video and you see a ad somewhere. How is this bias used? This is to make so if a candidate is using this if a candidate is using if a candidate is using this method of to make one person look bad and the other person not look that good, and that would help with making them look better and making them look better. Where have you seen this bias? This bias can be seen in almost all presidential elections. Nixon used this method to talk about corrosion in the Cold War, and Lyndon B. Johnson also used this in his attack ads. And one of his ads where a little girl was picking daisies off of a flower, picking petals off of a daisy, and a nuclear bomb went off. How can you fix this? You can fix this by seeing where the news site got them. You can fix this instead of like relying on them on their bias, instead of relying on that like fact checking them on what they're saying in that ad to see if you can get the whole story out of it. Now here's our documentary.
For our group topic, we picked media influence on politics.
We have found out that media has been affecting politics for a long time, from newspapers to television, and has been affecting it positively and negatively by being more available to more people, by having more bias in their articles.
For our action project, we went to Franklin Park Mall and we asked people if they voted. And if so, did media impact their vote? We figured out that most people's vote was impacted by one form of media or another, whether it was newspapers or TV advertisements or any other advertisement. Yes.
How did the media affect how you voted?
The media, not so much. What I read in newspapers, online.
Alright, in what ways did the media like affect you?
I listened to it. It gets me mad.
Alright, and you said it already, but what kind of media did you like see it on? Alright, and is there any way that something else affected how you voting? We went to the Toledo Blade and interviewed Dave Murray, the managing editor of the Blade, and asked him a few questions about what he thought about the media and its influence on politics. Do you think that it's gonna improve for them, or if it's going to get worse for politics, or improve?
I wish I could say that I thought things were going to get better, but I don't. I mean, I think the country is getting more polarized. I think the right is getting more right-wing and the left is getting more left-wing, and I think that the country is just being more polarized, and you're going to see media lining up on both those sides. And I think technology is a great blessing, but it can be a great curse too, because you can use technology to say whatever you want to say, and you don't know who's doing it. You know when the Blade puts out a paper, you know that's the Blade, and you know it's a newspaper for the city of Toledo, and you know where it's at. It's downtown, this big building, and you can come down here and complain to the editors about it, or you can call us. We're real people, you know us. But some of the stuff you see on the internet, you have no idea who's putting that out. It's like Donald Trump said. It could be some 400 guy sitting on his bed. Because that's, I mean, he's pretty crude, the president, but it's basically saying anybody, any disenfranchised, angry person could be sitting in their underwear on their bed with a laptop and putting on news stories, pretending that this is real stuff. That's what we're faced with. So consumers of news have got to be very skeptical about what they read. And if something doesn't make sense, it's probably not real. Just use your own, just use your own common sense. If something doesn't seem right, or something they're telling you something you've never heard of anyplace else, well, the easiest way to check it, I tell all students all the time, take some of the keywords in what they're writing and Google that. Just cut and paste something that's said, or just a whole paragraph, cut and paste it and put it in Google, and there's all kinds of websites out there now that are checking, fact checkers. And right away, a lot of the stuff will say, basically fake news. This is put out by this nonprofit group that's aligned with Mitt Romney or aligned with somebody else. So they'll tell you pretty quickly whether this is made up or not, or whether it's spun a certain way or not. So even though technology allows all this stuff to happen, technology can also be a tool for us to discover whether it's fake or not. Hope this helped you guys.
What we learned from this is that media doesn't necessarily fake their news, but they jump to a story without the facts. And media might not even just affect politics in the future, but control them.